Good evening, everybody. My name is Jerlyn Thomas. I'm a real estate agent with Arla App Properties, and I am here with Juan Bergas, JP, and Donnell Green. And we're going to have a really good session. This is Break Free and Build. And we want to just have this webinar going on just to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to, one, fix your credit, build your wealth, and then eventually buy your next home or your investment property. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this started. We don't want this longer than an hour. We're going to go ahead and start with JP. And once he's done, then we'll have Darnell. But thank you so much. And it's all yours, JP.
Yeah, so it's been cool to hang out with you guys a couple of times now that we've gone over what's going on with the credit world. And usually Donnell and I talk about how credit is not that organic, it doesn't change that much. Right as I say that, what happens? Four different things get changed with the FICO algorithm, ended up backfiring terribly, including what's going on with the student loans. But I know that you had some pointed questions that we wanted to go over. Um, so love to answer that because I think they're very valuable for the average consumer that didn't have a credit class or anything like that before.
Yep. So let me go ahead and pull that up and then we can go ahead and get those questions going. So the first question was, which credit factors have the biggest impact on my score the fastest?
So it's going to be your payment history. So payment history is 35% of your credit utilization is 30%, your length of history, which is completely different, is 15%, credit mix 10%, and then you're going to have your new credit, what we call like hard pulls, right? When people look at my credit, my score goes down, that's going to be the other 10%. So the easiest way to keep a good standard of credit, and I get in trouble for this all the time, like I'm not okay with good credit. If you don't have excellent credit, get there. If you don't have a 760, keep working on it because there's an absolutely different, style on the other side of 760. But how do I protect that 35%? Auto pay. Put everything on auto pay. Even if you forget 1 month and you have a blunder, you've seen people with a 750 credit score. We were just talking, and we are gonna keep talking about student loans because student loans never report people 30 or 60 days late. They wait until you're 90 days past due and then they hit you. So if you have a 760 credit score, you're going to lose approximately 142 points. So the best way to protect that piece of your credit, it's going to be to put everything on auto pay. Just make sure your bills do not go past due.
Gotcha. And so how long do negative items stay on your report?
In the state of Maryland, everything except for an inquiry will sit there for 7 years.
JP, does that change with any of the states? Is there any that are longer or shorter?
Yeah, there's a couple of states like North Carolina's five. Um, Oregon used to have a different, I think they're back to seven.
Okay,
And then you
that's
and I,
interesting.
being 5 years off the book, we know where the 7 years come from, which is the year Jubilee.
Mhm.
So interesting that they kept that. But yeah, seven
Excellent.
years. Inquiries, on the other hand, they're actually read on the report for 24 months, but the algorithm itself only reads them for 12. But I still tell people, like, look, don't get your credit pulled more than 6 times in a calendar year, right? It's just not a good look. But yeah, for you guys in Maryland, Virginia, it's going to be 7 years.
That's great.
Thank you for answering that. Do late payments hurt more if they're recent?
100%. 100%. For every late payment that you get, you're going to need 11 on-time payments to counter that effect, right? So this is when you're working with a buyer and that buyer had recent, let's just say like they pay their rent late or car, like installments, right? Like their car loan went late. It is going to be very, very hard for a loan officer to just not allow the algorithm to look at that. At the end of the day, you're fighting a computer program. That's really all it is. So if Donnell and I have the same exact credit score and I had a late payment from 2024, and let's just say that it hit me for 82 points, and Donnell has a late payment next or last month that gets reported on this reporting cycle, he's gonna lose a lot more points. So yeah, to your point, 100%.
Gotcha. Are medical collections treated differently?
No, I don't know where that came. Actually, I do know where that came from. So on January 7th of this year, the CFPB had an article where they said that 52 billion in collections were going to disappear. They called it COVID debt, is what they were calling it. All they did is actually the bureaus just pushed a button and told the algorithm, hey, don't read this. So they can code them differently. The problem is that the FICO algorithm, so FICO 2, 4, and 5, cannot tell the difference between a medical collection, a phone bill that you didn't pay, or a charge off a Capital One. So no, they do not get, they're not different in any sense when it comes to the algorithm itself. Now people are gonna be like, well, yeah, we don't consider those for DTI when it comes to FHA. Sure, that's 100% accurate, but we're talking about credit scores. So the one thing from that law, and it wasn't a law, it's a ruling, the ruling then got pushed out about 6 months, is that if a collection of medical nature only, it's under $500, it legally cannot go on your credit report. So if it's $499.92, it legally can never hit your credit report. If your collection is 501 penny, they can put it on there and it will sit there for 7 years.
Wow. Okay. When is it appropriate to dispute something on your credit report?
So disputing something is basically saying, hey, it's not me. That's why we don't do, that's called a blanket dispute. Loan officers see it on the credit report, it'll say account disputed by the credit grantor, and then it'll say right underneath on the verbiage, account or dispute resolved by the bank or the provider. So what you want to do is actually open what's called an investigative dispute with the credit bureaus. And when is it appropriate? Always. The law, so the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it's a law that was passed in 1970. It's 169 pages long. So put it in one sentence. Everything on a consumer credit report has to be 100% complete, accurate, and verifiable. And if it isn't, it legally cannot be on my report. 8 out of 10 credit reports in the United States has mistakes on it. It can be your name. It can be your address. It can be your employer. It can be a gazillion things. But when it comes to a trade line, if the account number is not correct, if the dates are not correct, if I've seen it 1,000 times where I look at a credit report and automatically you see the DLA, the date of last activity, happens to match the report date, like that's impossible. So I always tell people at least connect with us to do a consultation. As you know, as long as they're referred by you or Donnell, consultation is free. We go through the report and we're just looking for those things. The beauty is that we have an AI on our side that allows us to pick up everything. And then of course, my team can basically look at a credit report blindfolded. So, but my answer to that is, if you're not sure if your report is 100% complete, accurate, and verifiable, then you as a consumer have the right to dispute it. Now, don't do it on Credit Karma, please. So, don't laugh. Be nice. You too.
Okay, that's all good advice. So should somebody close old cards after they pay them off?
No, never. Hang on. So 15% of our credit, we said, is my length of history, right? Length of history is directly tied to how long has my credit been established. So pretend that this is credit card number one. Credit card number one is 10 years old. Then I go to the store and the lady says, hey, would you like to get a new credit card for 15%? And I'm an idiot and I go like, yeah. So now I have another credit card. This one is 0 years old. 10 plus 0 is still 10. But I have to take those 10 years of history and now divide it between two accounts. So now my length of history went from 10 years to 5 years. So if the algorithm says that 7 or 15% of my credit score is directly tied to my length of history, and I just lost half of my length of history, did I not just lose 7.25% of my credit score? Never close your accounts. The exercise is you're gonna grab a piece of paper. Don't do it on a spreadsheet. Like literally writing it down is so much more powerful. So you grab a piece of paper, you're gonna write down the name of the credit card and how old it is. And you do that for every one of your credit cards, because the opposite is also true. If I have a credit card that's 10 years old and I have a credit card that's lingering there that's only 2 years old, if I close that one, the 2-year-old one, my length of history goes up, therefore my credit score goes up. So that and credit card utilization are the only two pieces of the FICO algorithm that as consumers we can actually manipulate. It's a very quick exercise.
Thank you. So the other question is, how long does the repair process take?
Repair or rebuild?
Both.
So rebuilding, it's when somebody already has some sort of established credit, and life happens to everybody. Late payments happen to everybody. Things just happen, okay? Finances, whatever the case may be. That really depends on what does the consumer have to counterbalance the negative. Because the part that people don't know is there's two parts to our credit. You have positive and negative. So if everything on your credit report is bad, then that could potentially take you up to 8 months to a year to recover, especially depending on how recent your late payments are. Now, being able to rebuild through the process of utilizing the Uqual platform, eliminating any of those questionable items, plus having actual human beings coach you, we've seen people go from what, and let's be very nice about it, because now they're putting labels on what your credit score is so that you're not using a number. But let's just say we've seen people go from a poor credit rating to a great credit rating in 4 to 5 months. If we're talking specifically about what we're seeing today with student loans and that kind of thing, I mean, they're an incredible amount of hot water. So that's a much, much faster process. For people that do not have credit, period, right? Which that's a dream of mine. I hope that one day somebody tries to pull my credit and they get nothing. But the idea is it takes 6 months for the FICO algorithm to have enough data samples to be able to populate a score. So let's just say a client has zero credit, they go and get what? A secure credit card is going to be the first thing they're going to get, right? But then it's going to show on the report that they have a secure credit card, but it will say insufficient data to rate. So it doesn't give you a credit score. Now, remember I said length of history is something we can hack. So if I have a client that doesn't have any credit, I'm going to still tell them to go get a secure credit card because I want them to eventually be able to be independent and continue to build on their own. But then I'm also going to have this question. Do you have a loved one that you trust that has a credit card that's at least 1 year old and that 100% has never been late, and you know that this person's not going to go shopping and go crazy with their credit card and max it out? Yeah, my grandma, she's been amazing. She's got an 800 credit score. Awesome. Now you have that secure credit card, which is brand new, but providing more than 12 months of data, it will automatically make the algorithm score both accounts. So now you're getting points for both accounts automatically. And that can take what, 30 days, 45 days versus 6 months?
Right. So you touched on a topic about credit history with those who have a low credit score. What about those who file for bankruptcy?
What chapter?
Chapter 13.
So chapter 13, you have to have some sort of repayment, right? So as long as you do what you said you were going to do, which is you're going to conceal certain assets, but then you're going to pay back a bunch of other things, versus a chapter 7 when you're not paying back anything. Being able to rebuild, you can do it the moment that you file. And you should be doing it the moment that you file, because if not, a chapter 13 could potentially prevent you from buying a house for 2 years. And on top of that, back to, remember we were talking how long can an account be on my credit report in the state of Maryland? Well, a chapter 10 or a chapter 7, they would actually sit there for 10 years. It's not just 7. So if a person is going through that situation, the moment that the chapter 13 gets dismissed, then I would automatically be seeking to look for new trade lines. And it's again going to be secure trade lines.
Wow. Okay, so the last question is as far as like credit utilization, how is that with
You're gonna get me in trouble. So everybody on social media, TikTok University, it's gonna come out and talk about how they heard a credit guru. It's 50%. That's actually Advantage 3.0 thing. It's not. A lot of other people, especially in my world, like me, dealing with loan officers day in and day out, I ask that question, and all of them automatically go 30%, which they were right until February of 2023. So in February of 2023, every loan officer got a notice from Freddie and Fannie talking about they changed the LLPAs, loan label pricing adjustments, doesn't matter. All that tells you is that the big federal banks were literally just dealing with mitigating the exposure. Market really sucked in 2023. So what are credit cards going to do? If the big financial institutions are mitigating exposure, credit card companies are going to do the same exact thing. We owe $1.32 trillion in credit card debt as a nation today. The only way I'm going to try to keep you from spending my money, it's to lower your utilization. So for all intents and purposes, and a long answer to your question is 10% or less. I personally do not use more than 6%. Let me rephrase that. I use whatever I want. I just never get reported above 6% utilization. Report date and your due date are two completely different animals.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that pretty much sums up everything. You already touched on the two other questions that I had. But do you have any takeaways for those who may be listening on the call or watching the recording later?
So two things that are a little bit concerning for me right now, and here I go opening my mouth again, and I'll say, like I always say, I really, really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I'm very scared about buy now, pay laters. I don't know the full repercussion as to how they're going. They're starting to show on credit reports, but there's a big difference between the ones you pay monthly versus the ones you pay bi-weekly. I don't see, and everything I looked at, I do not see in any way, shape, or form, and I understand why they exist, by the way, but I don't see them from the credit perspective being beneficial, because we just said that any account, in order to help your credit score, needs to be alive for 6 months. Well, most of these interest-free loans are free for how long? 6 months or less. So I'm trying to figure out a positive way in which to impact your credit score. That's number one. Number two, we just got some data that there's a potential change of the algorithm that they're trying to use for mortgages. And I know Donnell can probably speak on this more, but it's an algorithm that's owned by the credit bureaus themselves. I have a very hard time understanding how we can manage a market and navigate a market where the credit bureaus own the reporting and the scoring. Sounds a little funky to me, but yeah, those are the two things that I'm seeing down the pipeline. If you are using buy now, pay laters, just like everything else, put them on auto pay. I'll hate for it. I just saw somebody with a $16 collection on a credit report. So yeah, just be careful with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, JP. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom on this credit repair topic. And I'll also on the video put how they can contact you. But just for the heck of it, can you let us know how we can contact you?
Yeah, get in touch with us at uqual.com, uqual.com. You can also reach us at 833-498-7825. Again, as long as they're bringing up or mentioning that they were referred by Donnell or you, we're going to go ahead and give anybody that needs it a free consultation and just kind of really get vitals on where their credit is and what needs to be done on their end and what we can do for them as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, JP. And
You're
if
very
you have to
welcome.
drop off, we totally understand. And now we have Donnell, and you can go ahead and start your presentation or your talk through, and we're all ears.
All right, thank you, Geraldine. So my name is Donnell Green. I am the founder and president of Yashar'el Financial Empowerment. We're a financial literacy business and consultant business. So I will walk through just a little bit of the site to be able to get a visual, but this is a program that is geared towards people that want to learn how to become financially stable, that want to learn how to do things as far as build their credit, rebuild their credit, um, build and maintain their savings, they need help with budgeting, that are looking to purchase a home and need to know how to go about that process. People that are interested in learning how to utilize their retirement accounts, how to make sure they're good with life insurance, and even when it comes down to it, if we are building up assets, we are going to have a estate that we want to make sure that is properly planned so we don't leave our loved ones with, that burden later on when our time comes. So our flagship program, which is called Closing the Gap, Financial Literacy Guide. This program allows you to be able to learn on your own pace online on any device, on your phone, on your computer. You can stop and come back to it as your time allows instead of having to worry about going in person to a class or coming to a webinar like tonight. If you're not available, you don't have to worry about missing it. You just take it on your own time. You can, with this course, this allows you to take it on your own time, your own schedule, on your own pace. If you only have 15 minutes per day, then you can do 15 minutes, stop and come back to where you left off and continue through the process. And it also, you have lifetime access to the course. So if anything changes, so say if there's a change in the financial industry or maybe even a new product that comes out, as we update the course, you will have lifetime access to go in and get that new information. So the that's the flagship program. It's called Closing the Gap Financial Literacy Guide. I will show you a little bit about that, but also we just started the financial consultations. So for those clients that may need more hands-on help with things as far as like more of a dedicated game plan to maybe building their credit or maybe even getting into a home. With my 10 years of history and finance between banking and as a mortgage loan officer, I definitely have more than enough success with past clients to be able to get you there. So that's where I'm able to either once per month or twice per month. In each session that we will meet will be an hour. We'll sit down, go over your goals, take a look at things that we worked on and make sure that we're helping you meet your goal. So that's the other service that we offer. But I do want to take time to show a little bit about the website and so you can see what we have to offer here. So let me pull that up. And this is does it have the Yashar'el wealth website up there?
It has the about us.
Okay, perfect. All right. So to find this, you can find this right here in this website, www.yasharelwealth.com. Gives a little bit about the business and what we offer. As you see here, our services, as I said, the financial literacy and wealth building program, that's one option you can take, or the financial empowerment consultations. And you can do both. Sometimes it just depends. Some people might want to have both so they can get their hands on, but they still want to learn some certain things. So when I'm doing the hands-on stuff, I'm not exactly like I'm teaching some things, but it's not as detailed as the things you would learn in the program, because that is packed with a lot of information that I put in that program. It's very affordable. So it gives you information about which each service offers. And then we have the course here. So normally course is $200 is the retail price. We always have a promotion going on. So as of right, actually, I'm going to tell you about the promotion that is actually going until November 18th. But currently, as you see on the website, you can always save $50 by using this code WELL50. So that will take it down to 150, and you can pay in full, or you can use these payment options: Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna, and you can pay those in 4 biweekly payments. So, and those are no interest also. But currently we do have it on sale for $50. So you can actually save, instead of paying $150, you're going to save $150 and pay only $50. But you're going to use the new code, which is going to go until November 18th. It does expire on November 18th. So if you're interested, make sure you take advantage of it. But that code is called, excuse me, Building Up 2025. So you're just going to go to the checkout, and where it says coupon code, you enter Building Up 2025 all together, and that's going to take off $150, and you're going to pay $50. So then if you choose to make these options for payments, it's going to be $12.50 for 4 payments instead of $37.50, and then it's paid off. So I just want to show you the course. Did they go to the other screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so go in here so you can take a look at the interface of the course. It does have narration, so I'm gonna try to pause it every time so we don't have to hear it. But so, and actually, you know what? Let me go back to the homes. Actually, look at this. Because I did want to, before actually showing the course, show the curriculum. So if you look at our curriculum, the first chapter, you always get the first chapter for free. So before someone commits, you can actually come on, do the preview of the course in this chapter, Introduction to Financial Literacy. You'll get that for free. And then the chapter that follows that up, which you would have to pay to unlock the remaining course, you get Understanding and Building Credit, Preparing Credit, Building and Maintaining Savings, Wealth Building through Home Ownership, the home buying process, down payment system programs, the importance of life insurance, savings for retirement, saving for retirement, utilizing retirement accounts, and estate planning. So all of this you get in this course, and there's plenty of information in here. So as I said, I'll go back so you can just take a look at the course. So this chapter that I have pulled up here, this is the Understanding and Building Credit chapter. So I'm just going to skim through, so you can kind of take a look at this. Of course, it's going to tell you what credit is. As I said, I have narration, so it's not just reading what's on the screen, it's actually elaborating on the information you're learning to make sure you fully understand everything. So I just want to make sure everyone's getting their money's worth, they have a full understanding, because the goal is to actually help you build wealth and overall to help close the wealth gap in the community. So just want to show a few things that are in here. So for example, we do talk about secured credit cards and how you can build your secure credit, build credit using secured credit card. But one of the cool things about the course I'm used to as a loan officer, holding my clients' hands and making things really easy for them. So I wanted to have that same concept with this program. So for example, if over here it says best secured credit cards for building credit. So what I did is actually give a list of those secured credit cards, which actually have a great chance of approval. So even if you don't have any credit at all, most likely you will get approved for these, and they actually don't even do a hard inquiry. But it explains the difference between these credit cards, the benefits of each. But you can actually click on the card, and it takes you directly to the website, and you can go ahead and apply. So just want to make things real simple and easy for people. So this is one of the things you find in that first, not the second chapter for building credit. Another thing you have here in the repairing credit out in the section here, um, we included right here monthly debt tracker. So when you download this, this actually can help you manage your debts. It can, if you were looking to follow one of the methods that we talk about in here, which is either the snowball, the avalanche method of paying down debts, you can actually enter those extra payments, and it'll actually calculate your new balances and help you just stay on track of your debts. So again, want to make sure we not only are teaching the information that's needed to help you build wealth, but also giving the tools that help you with that success. Um, we go to the building and maintaining savings section here. We have automated savings tools. We talk about these, right? So instead of just having to go out and search for these options, same thing as the credit cards. If you click on one of these, it actually takes you to the website, and you can start using these automated savings tools right away. So it's really about making sure not only we educate you, but also that we give you the tools that are available out there, and you can start using those tools right away. It also includes quizzes, it has case studies, has everything that makes sure that you have a full understanding of the concepts that you're learning. So really what we're trying to get you to at the end of the day is to learn, what is needed to be able to become a homeowner, because most wealth that you opportunities will be through home ownership. Homeowners have 40 times more net worth than renters. So if you can, get your credit in order, if you can build up a savings, take advantage of some of the down payment assistance programs, because there's plenty out there where you don't really need to have much money saved up in the first place. And then you're now a homeowner, and that gives you an opportunity to do so many things as buying that first home, building that equity, possibly make that first home into investment property and so on. So that's what we're really trying to get you at. And then from there, make sure you're protecting that asset with like life insurance and your retirement. So once you do retire, you are going to be able to take care of paying any additional life expenses that you have. So that's the concept of this program. We go back to the website here. As I said, we do have the other option, which is the consulting. So if you click on learn more here, it takes you to where you can book a consultation. It gives you the option of a free 15-minute consultation, so we can sit down, just discuss your goals, talk a little bit about how I can help you achieve those goals. Um, then once you decide to move forward, you can choose between one session per month, which is $80 per month, or two sessions per month, which is $150 per month. Now, with this session, the two-session option, it does actually come with the Closing the Gap Financial Literacy Guide included. So instead of having to pay for the online self-paced course separately, this actually will give you that included with this package here. So that's actually the best deal. But again, it depends on what works best. But you go ahead and choose what option you want. You book through the website, and you take a look at the calendar, and we set a time to meet either once per month or twice per month. So those are the services that the main service that are offered, but also as far as the consulting piece. Another thing that's included in there is it is important to make sure, as I said, we're meeting your goals. So if there is a need to get you connected with other professionals. If you're interested in, of course, buying a home and you need a real estate agent, you don't have one, then I will get you connected with Yashar'el. If you have some questions about, if you need something different on your credit process, if you need as far as helping you with disputes and things like that, that's where Uqual and JP would come in hand. You might be someone that looking for life insurance. I have insurance agents to connect you with. So it's a one-stop shop pretty much. So, definitely my expertise is, as I said, in banking and also in mortgage, but I have overall financial knowledge and financial connections to plenty of people that can help you achieve your goals. So that's pretty much what I offer. You can definitely reach me by getting connected on our website. If you go down to the bottom, it does have where you can contact us here. But you can also email me directly at donnell.green@yashar'elwealth.com. And you can also call me directly at 667-900-2913.
Awesome. Sorry, my background's a little loud. So, thank you so much, Darnell. This was fantastic, and I know you've shown it to me before, but I truly do appreciate you for taking out your time to showcase your financial empowerment program. And I just want to say thank you again. And if you have any questions for me, if you have, anywhere that I could put some input or just be a resource to your clients, I would truly be happy to offer my services. But that pretty much sums it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.